Hey, Elizabeth.
Good morning.
We are here today to answer the question, is the Care Society an unschooling community? We at the Care Society are reimagining education and the future of human connection with care. And we call ourselves a self directed learning platform, and we are a project based learning community as well. We envision students, families, educators engaging in real world projects together with real people, not only engaging online, but in person cohorts and communities, just like our Nova Care Pod with Rebecca Faree, establishing partnerships and really empowering young people to own their education. And this is some of what we believe in intersects with the concept of unschooling. And yet, we don't call ourselves exactly an unschooling community, although, depending on your definition, it's like kind of yes, kind of no. For example, as students are choosing to, let's say, attend a workshop, start a club, engage in a club, take courses, but also there will be students who aren't engaging in, like, let's say, formal coursework because maybe they're starting their own business, they're writing a book, they're doing amazing. One of our students just this past week just spent a few hours creating this amazing ghost story animation where those skills are very, very valuable, and they translate directly into creating value in the real world as they're adults. And so, doing that in community, having people who also are committing to care, caring about yourself, others, and learning. Uh, Projects that are original and valuable to people. This is a little bit of a different orientation fundamentally, in rooted in curiosity and compassion and collaboration, citizenship, than just saying we're unschoolers. So, Elizabeth, can you share a little bit about how what we're doing maybe is differentiated from unschooling?
Yeah, well, first of all, I would start with saying that what we're doing at the Care Society is not claiming to be providing like the entire education for any student. And so we're leaving it up to the parents to choose how their kids are educated. So, for instance, it would work perfectly well for kids who are even in traditional schools, like a public school or a private school, to also be a part of the Care Society and be doing real world projects. Obviously, we believe that probably the greatest part of the people that will be interested in our community would be homeschoolers, just because they have kind of more flexibility and more interest in, helping their kids do these things. But really, it is for everyone, and we hope it will be global. And unschooling, as far as I've seen, is a little bit more of sort of American, maybe English speaking cultural thing. Um, so that in itself is a differentiation in that, we're not saying come here and this will be all of your education. I don't think that it should be, because like we're not teaching people to read or, some of these core knowledge subjects. Um some other differences is that we do believe that kids should have autonomy and choice and freedom and education, but we do also believe in, while not coercion, more inspiration, that if kids are learning, they should have opportunity to be using what they're learning and doing things, and that we should see that kids are doing things. And I believe that most kids want to do things, they are just not empowered to do so. So I would say it's a little bit just of, not are we, aren't we? If unschooling is what your family is doing for your education, I think that the Care Society would be a great fit. If unschooling is not what you're doing for your kids' education, I still think the Care Society would be a great fit. I do think that if your kids come to the Care Society and they are not motivated to do real things in the real world, that you probably should look at what you're doing with them and see, what is it that's happening that's being demotivating to your kids. And that could be a lot of different things, and we can help you talk through that as a family. Um, some I think some of those causes can fall equally on both sides of unschooling or really coerced education. I think that kids that are kind of being forced to do a lot of what we think looks like learning or is really sort of academic busy work, that can be really unmotivating to kids. But then I've seen kids who are unschooled, who are just not really supported by their parents. Maybe they're kind of left alone a lot. They're end up online a lot. That they can lose confidence. They can, not feel like they can do things because, kids don't have a lot of autonomy in this world, and there might be exciting things that they want to do, but they don't have the resources. Or even when kids do want to learn things, I really saw this in my kids that sometimes kind of having some outside motivation was really helpful to them. If I just kind of said, oh, if you want to learn that, figure out how to learn it and do it, a lot of times they might not learn something that they wanted to learn. So that can be demotivating to kids if they just kind of always feel that all of that mental load and that motivation is up to them. That's part of what we're trying to provide here. So I think that what we're doing really can be beneficial to just about any kind of educational situation. We do definitely hold the position that kids should have some autonomy in what they're learning, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Well, the nice thing about being in the care society is that there's events that are going on in the clubs. There will be not only social meetups, but opportunities for students to have leadership positions. Sometimes that's motivating in and of itself. If there's a student who wants to be starting up a space, they have an intense interest in like something specific. Maybe they really like books, and they really enjoy reading and don't really have a lot of people to talk about it with, they can start a book club. If someone sees a cool workshop that's going on and oh yeah, let me choose to engage with this. We broadly support students in making intentional decisions about their learning, and ones that are motivated by their interests and passions that they want to develop, but also getting exposed to new things, especially if you have a friend who has a different interest than you, and your friend is launching this event. You might be supportive of your friend and just like attending that thing, and then you learn something new, and you're doing that, and that ecosystem ends up influencing your future projects as well. And that's kind of where the magic of the care society, I think, really comes into play, because even like myself, as I'm seeing our students and other educators and parents writing articles, creating videos, launching these innovative projects, like I'm learning from all of that all the time. And I find that my projects are then I'm thinking about these other projects that have been done. Even like I've been writing this article related to the history of U.S. public education, and that's a very popular topic within our community. And I'm learning from what other people are saying and posting about these topics, not only in the care society, but more greatly on the internet. And then I'm like, oh, okay, so I'm like kind of absorbing that information, and it's fueling my own projects. And so having the community to be free with is in and of itself very empowering. And so I absolutely agree with you, Elizabeth, that homeschoolers, people in traditional schools, and really people from all educational philosophies can benefit from our community. But we do stand for something. So, when I said self-directed education with care, we do have this care learning framework, that we value emotional, creative intelligences. We value these 7 C's. We believe in experiential learning, so doing real things, so creating, helping, discovering, and researching. And those kind of the foundation that it can give us like a common, almost like template for a pair of shoes so that each person can advance toward their goals, we think is such a powerful orientation, that, you know, we're seeing students who are in our community just absolutely sort of transforming what education even means. And so it's really cool to be a part of. And we're seeing these demos that our Nova CarePod students are engaging with. It's reminding me what students can do when they're truly empowered. And it's something that I haven't seen in another educational program. And so I'm just so excited to be continuing to be on this journey.
It is really exciting to see this community begin to come together. And I'm really excited to meet all of you. Please definitely check out our website at caresocietyglobal.com, and you can join a meet and greet, meet us, and get started with our community anytime.
All right. Well, thanks for getting on here and filming another video, Elizabeth. Until next time, peace.